Hello YouTube. What I have today is a quick comparison between the Honda EU2000i and the 2200i. These are both inverter generators. This 2200 came out, it's probably been out for a couple years now, but it replaced the EU2000. And I was just gonna make a quick video comparing the two. This one's actually a customer's. But I bought this one brand new, and I'll have to look at the hour meter here in a second, just to show you. But so we'll start with the design on them. The 2200 is a little bit sharper looking. It just has the edges here versus a curved surface on the front, and the body itself is actually slightly taller. Hard to tell on camera, but it is just, the handle's just slightly taller on it. And on the back here, basically the same. The panel on the 2200 is slightly wider. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but overall the 2200 is just a slightly bigger machine, which makes sense since it's a little higher output. But the sides here, basically the same. And the only other difference is the gas caps. I do like the bigger gas cap on the 2200. It's a little easier to tighten. This one's just a little harder to get to. If like you get it really tight, it's just a little harder to loosen, but not a big deal at all. We'll come down to the control panel here. So on this one, you'll have the eco throttle and the parallel outlets, so you can connect two of these 22 or 2000s together. And then you have your two 120 plugs and your 8 amp 12 volt battery charging port, which I use a lot. I'll show you all that in a second. And then you have all your alarms here, pretty standard oil overload and output, and your circuit breaker, and then your hardwire ground. On the 2200, it's basically the same setup. You can see the eco throttle, the parallels, the two outlets. This one actually is a 15 amp though, versus the 3.3 amp on the 2000. And then this one's also 8.3 instead of an 8 amp hour. So you'll get a little bit more output on the charging there versus the 2000. So you're just overall, you're gonna get a little bit more wattage out of the 2200. But they're both pretty comparable. I mean, it's only 200 off. But we'll come to the sides here. So they both have the same choke and pull start. You'll have your choke up here and your on and off here. But one feature they added to the 2200 is a gas shut off. So you'll see this just has on, off. So that's just killing spark. It's not killing the fuel. But on the 2200 here, you'll see it goes to on, and then you can turn it to right here, and it turns the fuel off, and it'll run the generator out of gas for storage, which is a nice feature. But however, I do run ethanol. This thing has only had ethanol free in it since it was new. So I usually just don't run the gas out, because ethanol free is a lot better for small engines, especially if they're gonna be sitting for a long time. But if you have it in your area, I'd highly recommend it, especially with how fuel efficient these generators are. It doesn't cost hardly anything more. But so yeah, that's gonna be one of the main features that I really like that's different on it, other than the little increase in power. But I'll take these control panels off for y'all, or actually we'll go ahead and start them up. So on both of them, you'll just turn it to on, and then you'll choke it, and they usually start first. This one I just cleaned the carburetor on because it sat for too long with bad fuel in it. So we'll go ahead and start it in eco throttle off, choke on. First take these covers off, because there is a difference in here that I'd like to point out. So these the only thing, one of the disadvantages of these compared to some other generators is you actually do have to use a screwdriver to take these panels off, but they come off pretty easy. It's just you have to have a tool with you. But I mean, I'm doing it in real time for y'all so you can see it doesn't take hardly any time at all. And they're both fairly easy to service. But let me move them next to each other here so you can see airbox, carburetor, airbox, carburetor, basically the same setup on both. The main difference I wanted to point out though is the oil fill on this 2200 is significantly larger than on the 2000. And they also added this drain right here, so whenever you drain your oil, it's not getting all inside the generator. On these, you'll get oil all inside the bottom of the generator, and it gets really nasty on an oil change. But other than that though, they are both basically the same on the insides. I did add a hour meter to mine, and it just velcros to the cover right here. But this one has 72 hours on it. I have never had an issue with it. It's been a great generator. But they're both Hondas, so you come to expect it. But I'd say, I don't think you can get the 2000s new anymore. But if you found a good deal on one on Facebook or something for $300 or $400, I think it's definitely a good buy still. But if not, you can find these on Facebook Marketplace, brand new in the box. I paid $600 for this 2200 brand new in the box on Facebook, so you can definitely find them on there for $750 or so. So I mean, if you have the extra money, I'd definitely dish it out. But if not, then the older 2000 works just fine. They also have the EU2000 also. I've had a couple of those before, but they're good. They just don't have quite the power output, so it's kind of worth it to me to spend a little extra and get the 2200 or the 2000. So I also made this generator cart. If anyone's interested in how I made it, I'll just leave a comment and I can make a video on it. But I wanted to show y'all this is the 12-volt plug. So Honda sells this for about 20 bucks. I think it's 20 or 25 bucks. I've had it for a while, but this is what plugs into there. You don't really see too many videos on it, so I thought I'd include it. And then you have two power outlets. You can hook this up to a battery and charge it, which is what I do because I work on four-wheelers. This is one of the ones I'm working on currently. But a lot of times they'll have dead batteries, and I can't get a power cord out there to charge them up. So it's a very nice feature. I can just roll them out on my cart, and it works great. But yeah, if y'all have any questions or anything, mention them in the comments. And like I said, if y'all want a video on the cart, I can do that too. But it's nothing really fancy, but something you can just do in your backyard with a stick welder. But anyways, thanks for watching.